Coming up on Chapman News, and then there were 20, a new Democratic frontrunner for the presidency. Joe Biden finally makes it official.
A shocking story, dogs in a dumpster, how this surveillance video led to a suspected animal abuser's arrest.
And rent on the rise, how Chapman's housing price tags stack up compared to other local universities.
From Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon, I'm Olivia Young.
And I'm Rebecca Glazer. Thank you for joining us today. Joe Biden has finally made it clear he's running for president, his announcement coming in a campaign video.
That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
This is Biden's third run for the Democratic presidential nomination. Biden served as vice president under Barack Obama from 2009 to 2017. Before that, he represented Delaware in the U.S. Senate for 36 years. Biden is among the major 20 candidates seeking the Democratic nomination this year. Though a Democratic favorite, Biden's run comes with baggage. He's been criticized for his handling of the Clarence Thomas Supreme Court confirmation hearings and Thomas's chief accuser, Anita Hill. The New York Times reports that Biden called Hill this month to apologize. She reportedly said she wasn't satisfied and would wait to see a change in the treatment of women.
After a year of data privacy scandals, Facebook is expecting a big fine from federal regulators. Facebook says an investigation from the Federal Trade Commission could result in $5 billion of fines for privacy violations. This would be the highest ever fine by the FTC against a technology company, a potential sign that the U.S. is finally cracking down on big tech companies.
The latest development from Sri Lanka after 6 suicide bombings struck the country on Easter Sunday. Samantha Thomas reports.
Sri Lankan government has blocked all access to social media, this starting just hours after the bombings. Online hoaxes misidentified those behind the attacks and the total number of people killed, falsely reporting the death toll as over 350 people. Numbers have since been lowered to nearly 300. Officials shut down the sites to stop the spread of any more misinformation that could fuel ethnic violence. A total of 9 suicide bombers struck 3 churches during Easter Mass and 3 hotels, killing hundreds. Of the 6 targets, the St. Sebastian Church in Negombo was one of the more destructive attacks, blowing the roof off the church. ISIS has now claimed responsibility for the tragic bombings. Tensions between Sri Lankan Muslims and Christians have risen, with vandalization on Muslim storefronts and many fleeing the area for fear of retaliation. Sri Lankan authorities say that more than 70 people have been arrested under suspicion of terrorism, with even the FBI joining the investigation. Police predict another attack may be imminent, urging residents to come forward with any evidence. Sri Lanka remains on high alert today, while the world continues to mourn the lives lost in the attacks. For Chapman News, I'm Samantha Thomas.
Chapman held a memorial service in the Fish Interfaith Center for the Sri Lankans affected by the Easter bombings. Students discussed how to move forward through this tragedy and heard from Reverend Dr. Gail Stearns, Dean of the Wallace All Faiths Chapel. We have Dr. Stearns here today to tell us more.
So this attack was thousands of miles away. Why do you feel that it still hit close to home?
Well, certainly we're a global community and we have Sri Lankan students and staff here, so I was really concerned about them. But also it was just a terrible tragedy. It was just so enormous that all of us who care about people were really moved by it.
And how do you see the aftermath of the bombings affecting attitudes towards Muslims around the world?
Well, that's one of the things I'm most concerned about. One of the things that we find is people think that religion is a problem. And I was thinking about a quote from a very kind of famous world religions expert, Karen Armstrong, who makes the case that the thing that we don't need to fear is religion. The thing we need to fear is religious fundamentalism. So people tend to connect religious fundamentalists and extremists with people in that religion around the world. And so I am afraid because people will react out of that ignorance.
Right, so
Yeah.
given that tendency to conflate the two, how do you help people differentiate between radical Islamic extremists and Islam as a religion?
Well, it's one of the reasons that we're at Chapman University, and this is an educational institution. I hope students are learning that, and I hope they're spreading that around the world. And we try to do a lot of interfaith dialogue so people understand each other better and understand really the basis of the religions, which is caring and loving and taking care of one another.
Now, some people perceive this as a reaction to the Muslim attack in New Zealand. How do you think we stop this cycle of violence?
Unfortunately, these things are so complex, and it seems to me that violence is more stemming from politics and economics than anything else. So I don't think I have an answer to that, except that it really needs to be tackled in a complex way.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Gilson.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's a pleasure.
This week, a ceremony to commemorate the 104th anniversary of the Armenian genocide took place in Montebello. City leaders and members of the community gathered together with a message for Turkey to officially recognize the Armenian genocide after a history of not acknowledging the killings of 1.5 million Armenians. Thousands walked the streets of downtown LA, marching to the Turkish embassy. Despite the decades of denial, the Armenian community continues to speak out.
These terrible tragedies occur. Sometimes we may think that we're alone, but it really brings out like who your real community is, who your real allies are, and as sad as the tragedies that bring us together are, it's good to have each other at the end.
Leslie Van Houten, the Charles Manson follower who's been jailed for 50 years for the La Bianca murders, is getting another chance at freedom. 69-year-old Van Houten has been recommended for parole since 2016, but that recommendation was denied twice by then-Governor Jerry Brown. Her lawyer argues Van Houten has changed, but prosecutors oppose her release based on the serious nature of the crimes. Manson's followers were convicted of killing actress Sharon Tate and 4 others, followed by the La Bianca murders the next night.
69-year-old Cynthia Ackley fell to her death at Grand Canyon National Park on Tuesday. Park rangers responded to a call for help, but Ackley fell before the rescue effort could begin. Her body was recovered approximately 200 feet below the rim. This is Grand Canyon's 3rd death due to a fall within the past 30 days, and 5th death this year overall.
Caught on camera, a woman tossing a bag of newborn puppies in a Coachella Valley dumpster last week. One of those 7 puppies has died. 54-year-old Deborah Colwell currently faces up to 7 felony counts of animal cruelty. Following her arrest, authorities discovered dozens of dogs living in her home. Police say all 38 dogs found are in somewhat healthy condition. Those dogs are now at a shelter. It's still not clear if she faces more charges after the puppy's death.
Another huge festival coming up this weekend. We have Mallory Sullivan here to give us your desert report.
Well, stagecoachers, get ready for some heat, and I'll have a special national forecast after this.
And we have Brad Benson here with our Best Campus Sports Show. Speaking of heat, what's the NFL draft like this week?
Yeah, it was a big night last night. 3 quarterbacks taken. Josh Rosen's still on the Cardinals. I'll have all of that and more coming up after the break.
Guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I groomed the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Measles cases continue to spike to the highest number of recorded cases in 25 years. Now, hundreds of students and staff at UCLA and Cal State LA have been quarantined, as they may have been exposed to the measles. Those in quarantine either have not been vaccinated or can't prove immunity. Health officials confirm over 40 new cases in California and New York, bringing the national total to around 670 cases this year so far. This number surpasses the measles outbreak of 2014. The CDC will release the latest national tally on Monday.
It's that time of year again. Chapman students are on the search for the perfect housing for the next school year. But policies have shifted. For the first time, freshman students will now be required to stay on campus for their sophomore year. Natalie Rawson has the story.
A policy announced in 2017 is finally being enforced, requiring all first-year and sophomore students to live on campus by fall of 2019.
It sucks because now I know freshmen have to live on campus for 2 years, and that's so brutal of them to do.
Studies from Iowa State University and the University of Central Florida suggest that students who live on campus are more likely to graduate than students who live off campus. Chapman President Daniele Strupa says the change is also meant to ease tension between Orange residents and the university. However, some students see a different motive.
It's like a business like any other college, and they're just trying to make as big of a profit as they can.
Chapman sophomore Jordan Elijah Michael started a petition on Facebook to challenge the high price of living on campus.
I guess I just wanted to make the petition to show the administration that there's a lot of people who are struggling to live on campus and pay for on-campus housing, and it's definitely causing issues, and people aren't necessarily happy about it.
I checked with other private universities in the area, and Chapman's prices are actually quite similar. What does stand out, though, is the difference between living on campus and off. But even off-campus housing isn't as affordable as it once was. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, rent in both Orange and L.A. counties is rising at its fastest pace in 12 years.
It's hard to find a place to rent near Chapman.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's the supply and demand. If there's nothing available, then the price goes up.
Well, it doesn't seem like rent in Orange will be going down anytime soon, so we'll see if Jordan's petition can make a change in on-campus costs. Reporting from Orange for Chapman News, I'm Natalie Rawson.
Jordan's petition has now reached more than 800 signatures. If you'd like to sign, you can find it on change.org by searching Chapman University.
An update on a story we brought you last week. The Birth of a Nation posters that sparked much controversy at Chapman have now been taken down from a hallway in Marion Knott Studios. Students protested the poster hanging inside Dodge College, calling its display racist and insensitive. The movie advocated the rebirth of the Ku Klux Klan when it was released in 1915. Following multiple meetings, Chapman faculty voted to remove them earlier this week.
One of our local post offices changed its name Wednesday to honor a soldier killed in Iraq. 22-year-old Trevor Winna grew up in Orange County and lived in the city of Orange before he was deployed. He was a specialist in the Army before he was killed in an attack by an improvised explosive device. The President and Congress had to put their stamp of approval on the renaming before it could happen.
California is #1 yet again, but not for a good reason. The Golden State continues its reign as the U.S. state with the worst air pollution. 7 of the top 10 smoggiest regions come from California, with the greater Los Angeles area claiming the top spot for the 19th year. County by county, San Bernardino, Riverside, and Los Angeles take home the top 3 spots, while the OC tied for the 25th worst. Although air quality has been trending in a positive direction over the past 50 years, this current report shows it worsening over the 3-year assessment. For the last 2 weeks, we've heard all about Coachella, but this weekend, there's another festival in town.
That's right. Stagecoach, the largest country music fest in California, will be drawing crowds to Indio once again. We have Mallory Sullivan in the Weather Center with our festival forecast. Mallory?
Well, thanks, guys. Well, it's going to be even hotter in Indio this weekend. Concertgoers should be prepared for a very hot day 1. Today, we have a high of 104 degrees, and it will cool down by 71 degrees by the evening. Saturday has a high of 101, a low of 69, and Sunday, luckily, there's some cloud cover coming in, and we got a high of 98. So high temperatures and heat stroke are eminent at these festivals, so be sure to wear lots of sunscreen and just, be smart at these festivals. Come on, guys. So right now we got a high of 70 in Orange. Now, not, hot like it is out in the valley. So just enjoy the sunshine out here today. But we're going to take a look at the rest of Orange County. Now, if we're taking a look, pretty similar temperatures throughout Westminster. We got a high of 71, 69 in Newport Beach, 69 in Irvine, 74 Mission Viejo, and as we move down the coast, we got a low of 65 in San Clemente. Now, if we're taking a look at rest of Southern California, we got a high of 65 in Santa Barbara, 72 in Los Angeles, 75 in Anaheim, 68 Oceanside, and 69 San Diego. Now, we got a beautiful 5-day coming up. Friday, we have a high of, today we got a high of 72. Saturday, we have some clouds coming in at 70 degrees. Sunday, high of 72, low of 56. We got a low 50s throughout the whole week. Monday, more cloud cover coming in, 67, and Tuesday, 66. Now, one of the wonderful things about doing Chapman News is we never know who's watching, and we did have 2 fans reach out to us from Woodbury, Minnesota. So, Karen and Paul from Woodbury, Minnesota, we just like to say hi, thanks for watching, and your current temperature right now is 56. Olivia and Rebecca, back to you guys at the desk.
A random act of kindness, former Chapman President Jim Doty donated a kidney to a stranger in need. Sienna Platt has the story.
Kidneys aren't something people think about until they need a new one. Then it becomes the center of their lives. The average wait time for a kidney in America is over 3.5 years, during which patients are hooked up to a dialysis machine for 12 hours a week. Living donors like former Chapman President Jim Doty are helping people get off the list and improving their quality of life.
A letter from the daughter-in-law of the man who received my kidney, and in that letter she explained to me what Jose Tolento was going through during his 6 years of dialysis. Really revealed to me in a fuller way the impact one can have in giving a kidney. Life went on for me, so it was not a big deal, but it was a big deal in the life of Jose and his family. If someone were to ask me, is it possible that they too can be inspired by my example? If you're 50 and over, I would say consider it. There are 100,000 people on the list, and if just a small fraction of the people who can give, are healthy enough to give, have that opportunity, we can fill all 100,000 kidneys, would have an incredible impact on the lives of others.
Donating a kidney isn't for everyone, but find a way to positively impact someone this week. For Chapman News, I'm Sienna Platt.
Have you ever struggled to understand millennials' internet slang? Well, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary is here to help. They have added 640 new words, many being those pesky words that just don't make sense. Some examples are stan, unplug, and screen time. As defined by Merriam-Webster, stan, an extremely or excessively enthusiastic and devoted fan. Unplug, to temporarily refrain from using electronic devices, such as computers or smartphones. And screen time, time spent watching television, playing a video game, or using an electronic device with a screen, such as a smartphone or tablet.
Royal gains or royal pains.
We'll tell you all about the controversies and speculation from across the pond.
And find out who we stand this week in entertainment.
And I'm taking an Old Town Road on the Best Campus Sports Show. Stay tuned.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex may be packing their bags.
After the upcoming birth of their first child, Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan Markle may be planning to move to Africa. The royal palace denies reports that they are being banished and insists it's their choice. And they say the move would only be for a few months.
A royal spokesperson said that there are no decisions have been taken about future roles, but due to Harry's role as Commonwealth Youth Ambassador, the couple do plan on frequently visiting the former British colonies. This news comes days after rumors sparked about Prince William cheating on Kate Middleton with her best friend Rose.
Now we have Gianna Gravelisi with more in the way of scandals and entertainment tea. Gianna?
Hey guys, it's Gianna here to spill the hottest tea in entertainment this week. From Freddie Mercury to evil villain, Rami Malek will star as the antagonist in the 25th James Bond film. It will also be Daniel Craig's 5th and final time playing the 007 agent. Endgame's premiere crushed box office records last night, being screened over 258,000 times in the first day. But the fans' biggest concern wasn't if the Avengers would defeat Thanos or not, rather, when the best time would be to run to the bathroom during this 3-hour film. Well, there's an app for that. RunPee is an app that tells moviegoers the best time to use the restroom in order not to miss crucial movie scenes. You just click the movie you're seeing in the theater, and RunPee will tell you a quote to listen for to signify that it's a good time to get up and go. They even give you a short-written synopsis of what's happening on screen while you're gone. App founder Dan Gardner says Endgame is the biggest movie for RunPee yet. While Marvel fans are RunPeeing, Taylor Swift fans are listening to Me on repeat. Not Me, her newest single released yesterday. But the drop was pretty anticlimactic for Swifties everywhere. Over the past month, the singer teased that something big was coming on April 26th. All hints made fans believe that it was her 7th album. They'll have to wait a little bit longer though, although Swift hasn't released a date yet. T Swift was also one of the only artists that wasn't featured on Lil Dicky's newest single, Earth. The song was released 3 days before Earth Day in order to raise awareness about saving our planet. Dickie features over 20 other singers and even Leonardo DiCaprio. All profits generated from music video views and donations will go directly to nonprofits that tackle issues like climate change, including the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande play animals in the music video, but we have to remember that they're real people too. Real people with feelings that can get hurt sometimes. After Ariana Grande spontaneously brought out Justin Bieber during her Coachella set, fans and news platforms went crazy. E! News entertainment correspondent Morgan Stewart reported on the performance, of course, but had some different comments to make during E!'s nightly pop segment.
Okay, I did not realize it was going to be that bad. He definitely looks like he put an oxy pad on that forehead, but I don't care. That is...
After accusing the singer of lip-syncing along with commenting on his acne, both Bieber and Grande responded in a series of tweets encouraging the host to use her platform to spread positivity. As an entertainment reporter myself, it's my job to tell stories, but it's important to remember to spill the tea in the most ethical way possible. Well, I think I've spilled it all for today. I'll throw it back to you guys at the desk.
Now we have Brad Benson here in the studio with us to give us a little update on sports. Brad, what can you tell us about what's happening this week?
Yeah, coming up after the break, I have a story on a Chapman football player and his journey to go pro. Stay tuned.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
With the first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray, quarterback, Oklahoma.
Thanks for tuning in to the Best Campus Sports Show. I'm Brad Benson. A lot of fun last night. What a night. Josh Rosen not so much fun for him. He's still on the Cardinals, but there are currently trade conversations going on with the Dolphins, so maybe tonight, you never know. But he did unfollow the Cardinals on social media this morning, so that's something. And then after Kyler Murray, there were 2 quarterbacks taken, with Daniel Jones going to the Giants at number 6, and Dwayne Haskins fell right into the Redskins' lap at number 15. Possibly the biggest surprise of the night was when the Raiders took Clemson defensive end Clelin Ferrell with the 4th overall pick. They sent their scouts home early last week because they wanted to keep their pick a surprise, and that they did. Ferrell was not even projected to go in the top 10, let alone the top 5. Many more college football players' dreams of playing in the NFL will come true this weekend, but there will be hundreds of players that go undrafted. And that was the case last year for Chapman wide receiver Jake Isabel. After going undrafted, he tried out for multiple NFL teams and had a brief stint in the CFL, but nothing materialized into a long-term contract. He's now playing in Germany with the hopes of playing in the NFL one day. Pranav Iyer has the story.
Jacob Isabel, Chapman's record holder in season receiving yards, career yards per game, and a Sky champion, is now one of the few Division III athletes to be playing football at the professional level. In 2018, he pounced all around the country seeking his first contract by participating in events from regional combines to even private NFL workouts. He finally got the phone call he was wishing for last April and was invited to the rookie minicamp of the BC Lions from the CFL. But just as soon as he got his first glimpse of pro football, it was taken away from him when he was cut 2 weeks later.
When I was released from that team, that really hurt because, I put so much work into these last couple of years into trying to become a professional athlete that, I thought everything, when I had been released, I thought everything kind of just slipped away from me and, wasn't going to be there for me anymore.
After one door closed in the CFL, another opened in Europe. A strong showing in the Austrian Football League led to offers from several teams in the most competitive league outside of North America, and he eventually decided to sign with the Cologne Crocodiles. Since getting to Germany, it's been straight to business for Jake, and he's made clear his intentions to take the league by storm.
Trying to win a championship out here in Germany, and I think we can do that with the team we have. Personally, I'm looking to lead the whole league in receiving yards, as well as my goal is to lead the league in all-purpose yards.
As one of only 4 Americans on the Crocodiles, Jake has become an international ambassador for the sport, a role he probably never even expected. In addition to his playing duties, he also is the receivers coach for the U16 team, helping to build German football from the grassroots level.
I'm definitely more than just a player out here. I'm a mentor to the kids, to the other players that are maybe second or third string to me, as well as even the coaches. My ultimate goal is, reach the NFL, but also my ultimate goal is to, enjoy life, see the world. I'm doing things that, most people don't get a chance to do. I'm walking by cathedrals every day and then grab my football pads and go into practice. Getting a chance to live my life and, see things outside of the United States.
Isabel played his first preseason game last Saturday, in which he scored a pair of touchdowns. He and the Crocodiles will begin regular season play on May 4th as he begins his quest for international stardom. Everyone knows Chapman has a football team, baseball team, and basketball team, but Chapman also has some teams that you might not know that much about. I'm here at Sycamore Trail Stables in San Juan Capistrano, and we're going to take an inside look at Chapman's equestrian team.
I met up with team president Courtney Marshall and her horse Blue to find out more.
I started the equestrian team when I was a sophomore in college. Back then it was still a club team, which means that it was more of a club than part of the athletic department. It was definitely more of a ragtag team than it was a organized team. And then after my sophomore year, we were officially the team in the athletic department. We used to have 8 or 9 people on the team, and now we have 23, which is really cool. And we have a coach that's actually a trainer, and we bring her horses to the horse shows, and everyone's just a little bit more dedicated, a little bit more professional, and I'm really proud of the team. The type of riding that Chapman Equestrian does is called equitation. So it's based on how we look in the ring versus how the horse looks. Basically, it's the consistency of our ride and then also how we look. And then when competitions happen, we are our own grooms. We make sure that the horses are clean and fed and well taken care of for the entire weekend, from very, very early in the morning till very, very late at night. We have a good group of girls going into next season. They're all really dedicated and willing to work super hard. Our coach is ready to hit the ground running, and we have great horses. So we have a good setup for next year. I'm very excited.
This season might be over, but you can catch the equestrian team and Biz back at it next season.
That was so much fun. If you get a chance, I would highly recommend supporting your fellow Panthers and horses in the fall. This week's highlight of the week comes from Portland Trailblazers guard Damian Lillard. Portland was leading their series against the Oklahoma City Thunder 3-1, and Game 5 was all tied up with seconds remaining. And in Rip City, that's known as Dame time.
Tied at 115, crowd rising to the feet. George will defend Lillard. Spread floor. Lillard with 47 tonight. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh! What? Blazers win the series. A walk-off three from Lillard. Damian Lillard from way down.
Well, that's the latest in sports this week. Back to you ladies at the desk.
Now, Brad, tell us, for all the middle school horse going all of us, was riding that horse as fun as it looked?
It was so much fun. I would highly recommend to anyone, seriously, go down, support the equestrian team, ride some horses. A lot of fun.
That's so cool. Well, don't miss an episode of Chapman News. Follow our YouTube channel at chapmannews.tv and social media accounts at Chapman News. I'm Olivia Young.
And I'm Rebecca Glazer. Have a wonderful weekend.